I was working in the lab late one night. You did the mash. You did the monster mash.
Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
Monster Mash.
It was a monster mash.
It was a Monster Mash. It's Halloween, so
It's Halloween. You
I'm trying to get on a tent. Yeah, I was trying to get on the tent.
What the hell's this?
Oh, you.
What the?
What?
Ah, my gun keeps going off.
Oh, fucking me! You scared me so
My
much.
My gun. If I aim, it just.
Wow, my heart is going, pounding. It's the story. I was
Yeah.
gonna tell
We were saving the story for moments like these.
you. Yes.
Perhaps you have a spooky story.
It's not spooky.
Oh.
I've got a spooky story if you want a spooky story.
Yeah, spooky stories are good because it's near Halloween, isn't it? And
All right. So this time last year, exactly a year today,
what? A year from now, or?
year last year, I was in Berlin, right, Germany,
Oh yeah.
and to be fair, Germany has a kind of a weird vibe to it anyway, because it's a little bit scary because of just the war and the amount of just war. It's all about the war there. If you go there, like every street corner, there's someone trying to sell you some war memorabilia.
Okay.
And we're staying at Airbnb. And it just happens to be above a museum to do with, again, war. And it's in a really old, like, German. You could tell it was still up from the war. It was just like some flats.
Is this true? Because I haven't heard this.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all true. 100% true. And I don't know, it's something extremely human, right? When you go somewhere and you instantly don't like it or feel uncomfortable. I don't know if you've ever had that. It just kicks in. Where
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah. I have. Yeah.
you just can't put your finger on it. And we was there. Give you the layout of the room. Door straight on your left is a toilet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Then the actual room itself was a double bed, this fancy piece of artwork on top of the bed,
Yeah.
like overhanging, and then a shower was in the room as well, like in the actual room. So it's a little bit weird, but you know, it's also like London where it's, you know, they try and compact everything in. Slash they're trying to make money, so yeah, whatever. So when I went in there, instantly just didn't like it. There was just it's just a very strange vibe. I didn't like it almost as soon as I went in.
Okay.
And
Tower here.
okay, nice. And what when I'm like that, I don't know about you. I sometimes can like struggle to sleep in such a place because you just don't feel safe.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was like, yeah, double check the door's locked, but it's still obviously strange noises. That's normal. But when you've got that overarching, almost anxiousness of just being in a specific location, you almost feel that you're just not able to relax at all there. Get alone to sleep. And what kept happening was the shower kept turning on.
Huh?
Like genuinely, loads of splatters. So then I'd have to get up and turn it off. Then it would turn on again, and it kept, because you're semi-asleep, like your eyes trying to be closed. It just kept going on.
Okay.
To the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to put a podcast on just so I can try and distract myself from the shower turning on all the time. And then it was on, and I was like, you know what? I'm even going to put a towel down. So even if it does go on, fuck it, I'm not paying the bill. I'll leave it on if it comes on.
Yeah.
This was night 1. I didn't really get too much sleep because of just the amount of noise. It's the second night, right?
Okay.
Again, same situation. I tried to put a podcast on before I went asleep. And the shower, so I was asleep this time. It was about 3 a.m. The shower came on, right? Now, I don't know what it was, but this massive piece of artwork that was above the bed just fell.
Oh my god.
Literally, I had to put my arm up to stop it from falling on the both of us that were in bed.
Oh
right?
my god. What was the picture of?
I've got a photo of it. I don't know. It was some like painting, and it was like a glass frame. It was proper heavy.
Oh my god.
It fell, and I honestly pushed my arm to stop it falling from the both of us, and I had to almost like push it towards the wall so it didn't fall on us.
Yeah.
Within like a split second, I had to just do it really quick, and it was proper heavy as well. And we can imagine we both instantly woke up. Like the amount of adrenaline that just kicked in, almost dying from being asleep. This thing, without exaggeration, was probably like 40 kilos. It shouldn't have even been on the wall type thing, and it was above the bed.
Fucking hell.
And absolutely didn't like it. I've got a photo of it. It was such a rough sleep. Didn't like it there at all. And you can imagine I didn't sleep for hours after that. It was not good. It was just you get
awful.
such a. I know.
Fucking hell, that's scary. That gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh, the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, not a fan of that place. You know, it's just gut instinct for some reason, and potentially, I think that really could have caused damage. The amount of weight it was.
I believe you. If it's massive and it was like all glass.
Yeah.
Glass is heavy, man.
Yeah.
And that would have been like, was it like pressed in between 2 panes of glass?
Yeah, painting? It was. Yeah, the painting was.
Yeah, so that's 2 panes. That's heavy.
Yeah. And it was like almost the size of the full width of the double bed. So that's how big it was as well. Even if it was just a pane of glass that was like heavy.
So when it was Bia's birthday, I took her to Vienna in Austria, and I booked this really nice place. It was like the architecture of it was really, really modern. It was really open. There was like neon blue lights in the kitchen and stuff. It was really, really nice. Mm-hmm. But the guy was kind of a dick, so he kind of lied to us on the B&B description, saying that there was Wi-Fi and a TV. Got there, no Wi-Fi, no TV.
Oh shit!
But the actual place was lovely. There was just no TV and no Wi-Fi, which was a really real pain in the arse. But it was like when you first get there, you're like, wow. But when you notice the smaller things, like again on the other side of the living room, there was a big like panoramic picture, so it was really wide but not very tall. And this picture was basically. It was a drawing, so it wasn't in colour. It was a drawing of hundreds of people, like, raping and killing each other in different ways.
Wow.
Like, so there would be, like, a naked body in the middle with rope tied to his knob, each one of his limbs in his head, and people pulling the ropes, and all of his limbs ripping off. Things like that. Yeah. And it was just, like, really gruesome things on this picture. But you only notice it when you really look at it because it was so big. Yeah. And then there was another picture, and it was like a painting of a girl, and there was it was a white fox skin, like that was draped over the picture, and like so things like that. It was strange. It was a strange place, and this was exactly across the road from the Belvedere Palace Gardens, right? Yeah. So this overlooked a secluded part of the garden that you couldn't get into without a key. And every evening there would be a woman in like a long coat and like a headscarf, and she had a cat following her and a crow following her around in this garden.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah.
Every evening, and no one would get in. Like we saw that once, and we was like, oh, I want to go in there. That looks really nice. So we was wandering around the gardens, and it was closed off. You couldn't get in. Oh. Because we were like, we didn't have any internet and stuff. We had to kind of just come up with ways to pass the time when it was late and we didn't want to go out. So we put some of like the chairs to the big window, because the windows looking down onto the street were huge, massive windows.
Yeah.
And you couldn't open them. But so we would just look out these windows, look at the people on the street below, because it was a city. Obviously, there's a lot to look at, and we would sit there just talking, eating crisps, and had some dip there, right?
Yeah.
And night after night, like the first time you just heard some weird things, usual stuff, right? Because it was in like an apartment complex, we just kind of ignored it.
Yeah.
And as I think it was like night 4 when it would get weird.
Okay. What happened?
So, the skin of the fox was like on the floor.
Okay.
But there was a table like underneath the picture, because it was obviously against the wall, and underneath, like it was like a little, not a coffee table, just a small table that you like put a landline phone on or something like that. So
yeah.
It's quite a tall table, and that was just underneath the picture, but it was like far. It was like 6-7 feet from the wall.
Yeah.
This fox skin, and then also by the window there is where we had the chairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had we left the crisps on the windowsill. I remember these windows were huge, we couldn't open them. Look, bags of crisps were like in the middle of the living room floor.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to scare her, so I just ignored it and I put them back and didn't really mention it.
Yeah.
And there was another night, I think it was the next night, where I got like, I looked as it happened and it gave me like chills, because
Oh no, what happened?
Because it was all open, right? The bedroom and the living room and the kitchen. There was no walls or anything. The only thing like separating the bedroom was like a bookshelf, a big like modern see-through bookshelf thing, and that was that separating the bedroom from the front door. Anyway, night 5 I think it was, and I couldn't sleep, so I was just laying in bed, and like like something just kind of. I distinctly remember it. It was like, when the TV's on and the colour changes on the TV, so you open your eyes to see what's happening.
Yeah.
It was like that, but there was no TV and it was pitch black in the apartment.
Okay.
It was like it was that kind of curiosity, like, oh, I'm gonna see what's going on. Open my eyes.
Yeah.
And there were the blinds. So so you have the curtains, and then you have like the see-through kind of mesh blinds.
Yeah.
The blinds were like blowing outwards, as if someone like pulled them out and then dropped it. So like, grabbed the bottom of the blinds, put their hand above their head and dropped it down. It was like flowing down in that kind of fashion.
Okay.
But like there was no windows.
Oh.
And like there was no aircon that we know of, because it was cold. When it was snowing when we got there.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Oh, that's weird.
like I just kind of ignored it. I turned away,
Yeah.
closed my eyes,
Yeah.
and hoped not to get killed in my sleep. But
Yeah.
it wasn't until like we got back when we spoke about it, because we were both picking up on these like scary things.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was hearing scratching and stuff, and I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah.
And fucking hell, and because when we got back, we both thought this place is fucking haunted, and we just didn't want to scare the other person, so we just ignored it. Oh. Payphone. Is it that Lady Gaga song?
Go, go, la, la.
Is that how it goes?
Yep.
Till my phone is ringing. Something like that.
Nailed it.
Oh.
What?
I thought you was unsafe. You're safe.
I don't know. Yeah. So